Okay, stop scrolling, because if you thought the Erica Kirk saga was already wild, buckle up. Candace Owens just dropped something that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Charlie Kirk's final days. A letter, a secret one, and depending on who you ask, it's either a heartfelt goodbye or the most strategic PR move since Meghan Markle's Oprah interview. The note that sparked a firestorm. Picture this: a Thursday night live stream. Candace Owens, espresso in hand, camera at the perfect truth-telling angle, looks dead into the lens and says 7 words that send the internet into meltdown mode. I have something Erica Kirk didn't want found. Boom. Instant chaos. Twitter, X, implodes faster than a Kardashian marriage. Reddit detectives clock in for overtime. Telegram chats light up like Vegas at midnight. And within 30 minutes, everyone from political pundits to your cousin who still thinks 5G causes headaches is dissecting what Candace just dropped. She holds up a letter, creases, handwriting, the works. The kind of thing that looks too personal to be on camera and way too juicy not to be. According to her, it's a private note Erica Kirk wrote just days before Charlie's death. No leaks, no anonymous sources. Candace claims she got it directly from someone close to the family. Then she reads it, slowly, dramatically, like she's narrating a Netflix true crime doc. Everything we built is being tested. I've been told to stay silent, but silence feels like betrayal. That's it, one line. But it hits like a political earthquake. Within hours, #Erica note, #Candace leak, and #turning point secrets are trending simultaneously. Screenshots of the letter pop up everywhere. Zoomed, cropped, color graded like it's the Zapruder film. Everyone's suddenly a handwriting analyst. Look at the slant, one post says. That's stress handwriting. Others claim the stationery looks too new. One account swears it's written on Turning Point USA letterhead. Another insists it's a Canva template. And while the internet argues about fonts and ink saturation, Candace leans back in her chair with that look. You know the one, I just dropped a digital nuke and I'm enjoying the fireworks face. Then she drops the line that cements this moment in internet history. If silence feels like betrayal, maybe we should all start talking. That quote alone spins the story from grief to suspicion, from widow to whistleblower. Overnight, Erica's name stops trending next to prayer and starts trending next to cover up. Political YouTube dives in like sharks. TikTok stitching the clip with ominous music and captions like, "The note they didn't want you to see. Everyone wants a theory, nobody wants a fact." By sunrise, what started as one mysterious note has mutated into a full-blown cultural Rorschach test. To Candace fans, it's the ultimate proof she's the only one brave enough to tell the truth. To critics, it's emotional blackmail dressed as journalism. And to the rest of us, it's the best late-night content since Will Smith met Chris Rock at the Oscars. One note, 14 words. And suddenly, everyone's story has a new villain, a new hero, and a brand new reason to refresh the comment section. But here's where it gets wild, because once people zoomed in on that letter, they noticed one tiny detail Candace didn't emphasize. A date in the corner that changes everything. The hidden date. Just when everyone thought they'd squeezed every last drop of drama out of the note, the internet did what it does best. Zoomed in, one blurry screenshot, one tiny corner of that paper, and there it was. A date. Not a random one either. Not Tuesday or last month or some vague church calendar scribble. It read, clear as day, August 28th, 2025. Now that might sound ordinary until you realize Charlie Kirk died on September 1st. Yeah, 3 days before. Cue the collective gasp. Comment sections went from sympathy to full-blown detective mode. 3 days before became the new Area 51. Theories multiplied like gremlins in a rainstorm. Reddit sleuths started drawing timelines. YouTubers dropped emergency live streams, and one guy on X posted a 32-tweet thread with the phrase, "timestamp anomaly," like he just cracked the Pentagon. At first, no one knew what to make of it. Was the date proof the letter was written before Charlie's death? A warning? A goodbye? A cover-up? A hoax? Candace, of course, poured gasoline on the fire. In her next podcast, she raised an eyebrow and said, "Dates don't lie, but people do." That one line detonated across social media like a verbal grenade. Within hours, clips of her saying it were everywhere, set to dramatic soundtracks, slowed down, reversed, captioned like prophecy. Influencers started referring to it as the 828 code. It sounded like a lost Dan Brown novel, but with hashtags. Investigators investigators online began comparing that date to known events. Turning Point board meetings, donor dinners, private flights, even archived church live streams. One TikToker claimed the handwriting shows hesitation, like someone writing under pressure. Another argued the pen ink indicated the note might have been rewritten later. Meanwhile, Erica Kirk's silence, deafening. She didn't deny the note. She didn't confirm it. She didn't even blink publicly. Every day she stayed quiet, the speculation got louder. And here's where it got weird. Someone unearthed a photo from Erica's Instagram story, posted on August 28th, showing her at home, lighting a candle beside a Bible open to the book of Job. The caption, "Testing reveals character." Boom, the internet lost it. Was it grief foreshadowing, a coded message, or just a coincidence? Doesn't matter, because online, coincidence doesn't exist. The hidden date turned the note from a sad relic into a ticking time bomb. Every theory now had a clock. Every silence had context. Every unanswered question had a deadline, literally. And just when the online frenzy reached its boiling point, one TikTok user discovered something even crazier. The date on the letter didn't match the digital timestamp on the photo Candace posted. The image metadata showed the file was created 2 days after Charlie's death. So now the question wasn't just, why was it written before? It became, was it even written when Candace said it was? Reality twisted into a digital Mobius strip. Every new discovery contradicted the last, and yet every contradiction made the story more addictive. Candace called it proof of manipulation. Erica's defenders called it deepfake bait, and the rest of the internet, they called it Tuesday. But if you thought a suspicious date was wild, wait until you hear what was attached to the letter, because somewhere out there, in the cloud or on a phone, there's allegedly a voice memo that might finally tell us who knew what and when. The pastor's paragraph. The story took a wild turn when the internet discovered something strange hidden inside Erica Kirk's handwritten note. A paragraph that wasn't written by her at all, but by her pastor. Sharp-eyed viewers noticed the difference instantly. Tighter letters, darker ink, a totally different rhythm. At first, people assumed it was a harmless blessing until they read the chilling line, "Faith is the bridge between silence and redemption. When truth feels heavy, hand it to God before you hand it to man." That last part, "before you hand it to man," set social media on fire. Was it a spiritual message or a warning not to go to the authorities? Candace Owens pounced, calling it not a sermon but a shield. And overnight, the internet turned theological. #pastor's paragraph trended as creators, preachers, and conspiracy theorists all joined the frenzy. Some claimed it proved a cover-up. Others argued it was just spiritual guidance taken out of context. Then a parishioner leaked proof that the same line appeared in one of the pastor's old sermons, written before Charlie Kirk's death. And that revelation shattered what little calm was left. Theories exploded everywhere. Was Erica seeking forgiveness? Was someone staging a faith-based distraction? The debate spiraled beyond religion into politics and psychology. Through it all, Erica stayed silent, and that silence became louder than any statement. What began as a line of comfort had turned into a cultural Rorschach test, a viral prophecy where everyone saw their own truth. The internet wasn't asking if the note was real anymore. It was asking what it meant and who it was meant to protect. But if that line raised eyebrows, the next part sent jaws to the floor. The missing drafts. Just when the world thought the letter drama had peaked, a new twist blew the story wide open. The missing drafts. Rumor had it Erica Kirk didn't write just one version of that mysterious note. She wrote 3. The first appeared weeks before Charlie's death, the second days before, and the final just hours before everything went public. But when investigators tried to find them, nothing. Emails wiped, cloud backups unavailable, paper copies gone, like the truth had been vacuum sealed out of existence. Then came the smoking gun. Church printer log showing 3 files, EK_letter_V1, EK_letter_V2, and EK_final. Uploaded, printed, and deleted in a single day. Even worse, they were printed under the pastor's login. The same pastor tied to that suspicious paragraph in the final letter. Coincidence? Please. Candace Owens went live, waving her metaphorical magnifying glass like a courtroom prop. If you're writing 3 drafts of a confession, one of them had the truth, and now it's gone. Within hours, Hash the Missing Drafts was trending. Reddit threads were recovering alleged snippets, and the internet was convinced it had uncovered a digital ghost story. Reporters started digging. Not for theology this time, but for tech trails. Why did the printer vanish a week later? Why did the office backup drive crash right before a federal subpoena? And why did one metadata trace lead straight to a donor-owned firm in Phoenix? Someone had edited that letter, and maybe even rewritten the narrative before it ever saw daylight. That's when the scandal stopped being about grief and started being about control. Who decides what version of truth the world gets to see? What was in those missing drafts? And why did they scare Erica enough to erase them? Then came the line that froze everyone. A trembling church assistant confessed there was something in the first draft that made her cry when she read it back. Something she didn't want anyone else to see. Whatever it was, it's gone, deleted, overwritten, vanished into digital dust. But like every secret in this story, its silence only made it louder. Because while the drafts disappeared into the ether, the next clue didn't. It was caught on camera, and what that footage showed made even the skeptics stop scrolling. The live stream breakdown, 3 nights after promising the world undeniable proof, Candace Owens finally went live. And what unfolded wasn't just a broadcast, it was a breakdown in real time. The screen flickered on to reveal Candace sitting alone in dim light, paper scattered, coffee mug half full. Her tone was calm at first, almost surgical, as she began dissecting Erica Kirk's letter line by line. Then something shifted. Her voice hardened, her hands trembled. She looked straight into the camera and said, "There's something in here nobody's talking about, and I know why." The chat exploded. Viewers demanded evidence. Then she lifted a page to the lens. Not the letter, but an email labeled version approval, EK_final, CC'd to none other than Pastor Daniel Reed, the same pastor from the infamous paragraph. Seconds later, the stream began to glitch. The video froze, looped, and stuttered as if someone was hijacking the feed. Candace joked, "They're watching this." But the strain in her voice betrayed her. In the chaos, viewers claimed they heard a faint male whisper, "Stop reading that." The internet detonated. Reddit threads multiplied. TikToks dissected every frame, and conspiracy channels called it the blackout broadcast. Then just an hour after the live ended, the video vanished from YouTube. Technical error, they said, but screenshots of the email leaked everywhere, each one slightly different. One said approved by DR, another not safe for release, none verified, all viral. Joe Rogan joked, "When your stream dies after naming a pastor, you're either crazy or over the target." Erica Kirk's team responded with one cryptic sentence, "We will not dignify hysteria with participation." That silence only deepened the storm. Investigators later blamed a sync issue caused by multiple login attempts. But to the internet, it was too perfect to be coincidence. Candace's trembling hand holding that page became the defining image. Part courage, part chaos. Memes, edits, and quotes flooded timelines. You can't delete the truth. You can only buffer it. The live stream wasn't just an expose. It became an event. Part whistleblowing, part theater. A collapse that catapulted Candace from commentator to central character. And while the internet argued over truth and glitch conspiracies, Erica Kirk remained silent again. A silence that didn't calm the fire, it fed it. But if the live stream was the internet's breaking point, the next revelation pushed it past repair. Because the next clue didn't come from a file or an email, it came from a camera. And what that security footage captured in the church hallway changed everything. The email leak. The chaos that followed the live stream breakdown had barely cooled when the next digital explosion hit. The email leak. It started as a quiet, almost forgettable Reddit post by a user named TruthUnlocked92, but within hours, it set the internet on fire. The post contained what looked like a screenshot of a private email thread titled REEK_final_approval. Confidential thread, do not forward. A chillingly corporate headline for something that was supposed to be spiritual. 3 names sat at the top. Erica Kirk, Pastor Daniel Reed, and a media consultant connected to Turning Point's crisis team. The body of the email was short but devastating. The letter will read as personal testimony. Final revisions approved. Please ensure all prior drafts are deleted immediately. That one line detonated weeks of speculation. Those prior drafts, the same ones that mysteriously vanished from church servers, were suddenly back in the conversation. Social media went wild. Hashtags erupted, TikTok lawyers and digital detectives dissected the wording like it was Watergate in cursive. Was this email proof of manipulation or just part of a grief-stricken woman's attempt to control her story? Candace Owens wasted zero time turning it into a spectacle. On her next live stream, she brandished a printed copy of the email like a smoking gun and declared, "This isn't faith, this is editing grace for optics." Her delivery was sharp, theatrical and perfectly timed. To her followers, it sounded like revelation. To her critics, like weaponized grief. Then came the real twist. Tech experts dug into the screenshot's metadata and uncovered a timestamp, September 13th, 2 days before Charlie Kirk's memorial and 1 day before Candace supposedly received the final note. The implication? Erica's heartfelt letter wasn't written in mourning. It was workshopped like a PR release. The church tried to dismiss the entire thing as fabricated communications, but the polished corporate tone of the email only made people more suspicious. And then another screenshot surfaced. This time a partial forward of the same thread sent to Candace's own producer the night before her big discovery. The timeline no longer made sense. Either Candace had the email early, or someone inside Erica's circle was feeding her directly. Theories exploded. Some said Candace orchestrated the leak for views. Others said a whistleblower inside Turning Point wanted to destroy Erica's credibility. Either way, by morning, the internet had split into two armies, Team Candace versus Protectorica, fighting a war that felt more like a political soap opera than an investigation. Even Joe Rogan couldn't resist chiming in. When your church emails sound like they came from a Netflix showrunner, something's definitely off. In the aftermath, the church shut down communications, wiped over 200 emails, and forced staff to sign NDAs. Erica vanished. Again. No statements, no posts, not even a denial. And that silence spoke volumes. For a letter meant to bring closure, every new revelation only pushed the truth further away. In an age where every confession is content, faith became strategy, and honesty became PR. What was meant to cleanse only corrupted. But while the email leak showed how easily words could be manipulated, what came next was beyond spin. Because when investigators finally checked the church's own security cameras, what they found wasn't editing, it was erasing. Erica's silence breaks after weeks of silence that had turned her into an online mystery. Erica Kirk finally spoke, but not in the way anyone expected. No press conference, no tearful interview, just a small faith-based podcast from Mesa, Arizona called Light Between the Lines. The host opened with a startling announcement. They were about to share words from Erica Kirk. The 6-minute recording that followed was calm, polished, and unsettlingly vague. Erica's voice drifted through the speakers like a ghost, speaking about healing, surrender, and silence, but never mentioning Charlie, the letter, or Candace Owens. Listeners immediately sensed something was off. The audio didn't sound natural, parts seemed spliced together, the background tone shifted mid-sentence, and her breathing was abruptly cut. Within hours, internet detectives were claiming it had been edited, or worse, AI generated. Candace Owens wasted no time seizing on the moment. On her live stream, she played the clip on loop, declaring, "That's not a woman finding peace, that's a woman reading a script." Hashtags exploded. Erica speaks, voice or ventriloquist, and the snarky prayer not prayer. But even Erica's harshest critics admitted one thing. Her calmness felt eerie, like someone who had already accepted she'd lost control of her own story. Then the podcast added fuel to the fire by reading an anonymous letter that echoed phrasing from Erica's earlier drafts. Within 24 hours, the episode vanished for review, sparking even more speculation. Newsweek ran the headline, "Erica Kirk speaks, or does she?" And Joe Rogan summed up the mood perfectly. It's like watching someone talk through a firewall. You hear her voice, but you don't know who's writing the script behind it. What was meant to bring closure instead reignited the chaos. Erica's calm, cryptic message, whether genuine, manipulated, or machine-assisted, reopened every theory about her grief, her guilt, and her control. Because in the age of viral truth wars, silence can be power, but breaking it, even for 6 minutes, can blow everything wide open. But if Erica's voice brought the world to a whisper, the next leak turned that whisper into a scream, as insiders began leaking messages suggesting her silence wasn't her choice at all. It was enforced from above. The Rogan ripple. By the time Joe Rogan entered the Erica Kirk controversy, the internet was already burning, but his words turned sparks into an inferno. During one of his usual podcast conversations about performative truth and influencer hypocrisy, Rogan casually dropped a grenade. You've got a woman reading a confession that sounds AI edited, pastors ghostwriting notes, and an entire internet acting like it's a courtroom. I don't know if we're watching grief or content. That single line detonated across every platform. Within minutes, Rogan said it was trending. TikTok was flooded with clips, and millions were dissecting his tone like it was sacred scripture. Rogan hadn't named names, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Erica, Candace, and the chaos orbiting them. Candace Owens fired back on X, accusing Rogan of hiding behind microphones when truth gets uncomfortable. But Rogan didn't reply. He didn't need to. The algorithm did it for him. Then, 2 days later, he doubled down. He called out how everyone's monetizing truth, turning faith and grief into a religious reality show. That line hit harder than a sermon, because it was true. Rogan's offhand observation turned the whole Erica Candace saga from scandal to social commentary. Suddenly, the focus wasn't on who lied or who leaked what, but on how we, the audience, couldn't look away. Major outlets picked it up. Rolling Stone, The Atlantic, The View, and even Fox ran stories about what they dubbed the Rogan Ripple. The idea that one viral comment could reshape an entire narrative. Rogan had turned gossip into philosophy. Candace predictably accused him of trivializing spiritual warfare, while Erica's camp issued a carefully crafted line about keeping faith rooted in truth, not profit, which only proved Rogan's point further. And just when it seemed like the story might fade, internet sleuths found a new twist. One of Rogan's recent guests, a cybersecurity expert, had ties to Turning Point's digital division. Instantly, theories exploded that Rogan knew more than he was letting on. Viewers slowed down his footage, analyzing smirks, pauses, and offhand remarks for hidden meaning. But beneath the noise, Rogan's real point hit deeper than anyone expected. He wasn't mocking Erica or Candace. He was indicting the audience. He made everyone realize this wasn't about truth versus lies. It was about attention. Everyone, the pastor, the pundit, the podcaster, and the public had turned truth into a product. And for the first time in the whole saga, the internet actually stopped to listen. Just for a moment, the noise fell silent, long enough for Rogan's words to echo. We're not searching for truth anymore. We're addicted to the performance of it. But if Rogan forced people to question the game, what came next exposed the players behind it, because hidden in encrypted chats and private donor threads were messages proving that the truth business wasn't just a metaphor, it was a machine. The second letter. A second note surfaced online, this time unsigned, undated, and supposedly found in Charlie's office drawer. It read, "If something happens to me, look where no one's looking." Whether real or AI forged, it reignited the chaos. Commentators called it the digital resurrection of the story, and by now, no one cared what was true, only what was viral. And that brings us to the part where it all comes full circle, the final twist. In her latest post, Candace claims she's handing the letter to independent experts for verifications. But let's be honest, in the age of TikTok forensics, who even trusts experts anymore? Still, one thing's clear, this letter, real or not, has officially become legend. It's not about evidence anymore. It's about emotion, about faith, about a story too wild to fact check but too addictive to ignore. So was Erica's letter a cry for help, a message of faith, or a PR masterstroke? Maybe it's all three, because in today's world, the truth doesn't trend, the drama does. If you made it this far, drop A in the comments if you think the letter's real, or A if you think it's just another twist in the world's longest influencer cold case. And remember, in this story, silence speaks louder than any statement. Subscribe for more chaos, clarity, and celebrity politics colliding, because this ride, yeah, it's just getting started.